Hello friends, we are going to be reading out of the book of Job. We'll be starting with chapter 8. If you haven't already, I do encourage you to spend some time with God. I think a lot of people these days will say, I'm going to pray for you, or I am praying for you, or we think that we pray, but we don't actually do any praying. We think about it. Can you imagine if you thought about exercising or you thought about eating healthy, but you never actually did it? If you only thought about it, but never put any actual action plan, there'd be no success. And I'm only saying this from my own personal experience because for a very long time, and even now sometimes, I think about praying, and I think about what I want to talk to God about, and I think about the kind of Christian I want to be, the relationship I want to have with God, and I listen to other people pray or sermons or inspirational videos from different channels that I like where they pray, but I'm not praying. And I almost think that it's just going to work for me because they're doing it, but it's not the same as actually praying. If I just thought about eating healthy or exercising or going to work, but didn't actually do those things, there's no fruit in that. There's no benefit in that. As believers, as followers of Jesus Christ, as people that want to live out the word of God, we have to actually be people of prayer. I would lose my job if I thought about going to work but didn't actually do it. So this is my encouragement to you, and part of that encouragement is sometimes when I want to pray on video, when I'm reading the book here, it's not the same for me because I want to really dedicate my heart and my mind to God. And there's a way to do it when I'm doing it with others, and there's a way to do it when I'm doing it with just me and the Lord. And I do encourage you to take that time today to spend some time, you and God. So we can jump into Job chapter 8, and I will link the timestamp for when I actually start reading the Bible in the video. Chapter 8, Bildad's first response to Job. Then Bildad the Shuhite replied to Job, "How long will you go on like this? You sound like a blustering wind. Does God twist justice? Does the Almighty twist what is right? Your children must have sinned against him." Wow. So their punishment was well deserved. But if you pray to God and seek the favor of the Almighty, and if you are pure and live with integrity, he will surely rise up and restore your happy home. And though you started with little, you will end with much. Just as the previous generation, pay attention to the experience of our ancestors. For we were born but yesterday and know nothing. Our days on earth are as fleeting as a shadow. But those who came before us will teach you. They will teach you from the wisdom of old. Can papyrus reeds grow tall without a marsh? Can marsh grass flourish without water? While they are still flowering, not ready to be cut, they begin to wither more quickly than the grass. The same happens to all who forget God. The hopes of the godless evaporate. Their confidence hangs by a thread. They are leaning on a spider's web. They cling to their home for security, but it won't last. They try to hold it tight, but it won't endure. The godless seem like a lush plant growing in the sunshine. Its branches spreading across the garden. Its roots grow down through a pile of stones. It takes hold on a bed of rocks. But when it is uprooted, it is as though it never existed. That's the end of its life, and others spring up from the earth to replace it. But look, God will not reject a person of integrity, nor will he lend a hand to the wicked. He will once again fill your mouth with laughter and your lips with shouts of joy. Those who hate you will be clothed with shame, and the home of the wicked will be destroyed. Chapter 9 of Job. Job's third speech, a response to Bildad. Then Job spoke again. "Yes, I know all this is true in principle, but how can a person be declared innocent in God's sight? If someone wanted to take God to court, would it be possible to answer him even once in 1,000 times? For God is so wise and so mighty. Who has ever challenged him successfully? Without warning, he moves the mountains, overturning them in his anger. He shakes the earth from its place, and its foundations tremble. If he commands it, the sun won't rise and the stars won't shine. He alone has spread out the heavens and marches on the waves of the sea. He made all the stars, the Bear and Orion, the Pleiades and the constellations of the southern sky." I'm sorry, I don't know whatever that word is. Pleiades? I'm sure it's probably a word I should know. "He does great things too marvelous to understand. He performs countless miracles. Yet when he comes near, I cannot see him. When he moves by, I do not see him go. If he snatches someone in death, who can stop him? Who dares to ask, 'What are you doing?' And God does not restrain his anger. Even the monsters of the sea are crushed beneath his feet. So who am I that I should try to answer God or even reason with him? Even if I were right, I would have no defense. I could only plead for mercy. And even if I summoned him and he responded, I'm not sure he would listen to me. For he attacks me with a storm and repeatedly wounds me without cause. He will not let me catch my breath, but fills me instead with bitter sorrows. If it's a question of strength, He is the strong one. If it's a matter of justice, who dares to summon him to court? Though I am innocent, my own mouth would pronounce me guilty. Though I am blameless, it would prove me wicked. I am innocent, but it makes no difference to me. I despise my life. Innocent or wicked, it's all the same to God. That's why I say he destroys both the blameless and the wicked. When a plague sweeps through, he laughs at the death of the innocent. The whole earth is in his hands, the hands of the wicked. And God blinds the eyes of the judges. If he's not the one, who does it? Who is? Because God's perfect. My life passes more swiftly than a runner. It flees away without a glimpse of happiness. It disappears like a swift papyrus boat, like an eagle swooping down on its prey. If I decided to forget my complaints, to put away my sad face and be cheerful, I would still dread all the pain, for I know you will not find me innocent, O God. Whatever happens, I will be found guilty. So what's the use of trying? Even if I were to wash myself with soap and clean my hands with lye, you would plunge me into a muddy ditch. Ooh. And my own filthy clothing would hate me. God is not immortal like me, so I cannot argue with him or take him to trial. If I only were there in a mediator between us, if only there were a mediator between us, someone who could bring us together. Now we do have that. The mediator could make God stop beating me, and I would no longer live in terror of his punishment. Then I would speak to him without fear, but I cannot do that in my own strength. Last one for this reading, Job chapter 10. Job frames his plea to God. I am disgusted with my life. Let me complain freely. My bitter soul must complain. I will say to God, don't simply condemn me. Tell me the charge you are bringing against me. What do you gain by oppressing me? Why do you reject me, the work of your own hands, while smiling at the schemes of the wicked? Are your eyes like those of a human? Do you see things only as people see them? Is your lifetime only as long as ours? Is your life so short that you must quickly probe for my guilt and search for my sin? Although you know I'm not guilty, no one can rescue me from your hands. You formed me with your hands. You made me. Yet now you completely destroy me. Remember that you made me from dust. Will you turn me back to dust so soon? You guided my conception and formed me in the womb. Yes, you did. You clothed me with skin and flesh, and you knit my bones and sinews together. You gave me life and showed me your unfailing love. My life was preserved by your care. Yet your real motive, your true intent, was to watch me, and if I sinned, you would not forgive my guilt. If I am guilty, too bad for me, and even if I'm innocent, I can't hold my head high, because I am filled with shame and misery. And if I hold my head high, you hunt me like a lion and display your awesome power against me. Again and again, you witness against me. You pour out your growing anger on me. You bring fresh armies against me. Why then did you deliver me from my mother's womb? Why then did you not let me die at birth? It would be as though I had never existed, going directly from the womb to the grave. I have only a few days left, so leave me alone, that I may have a moment of comfort, before I leave never to return, for the land of darkness and utter gloom. It is a land as dark as midnight, a land of gloom and confusion, where even the light is dark as midnight. And we'll be next getting into chapter 11, Zophar's first response to Job. So we see in this book, Job is really suffering. He's lost so much. He's lost his children. He's lost his property. He's lost his comfort. He's really suffering. And he cries out to God, but he has not cursed God. He's asked God why he's suffering so much. And he knows the power and might of God. I think in the Bible, it's really beneficial that we have these instances of people really suffering and lamenting, pouring their heart out to the Lord. There are days that I'm sure you have felt the same. So we should take Job as a person to give us courage and comfort as we cry out to God, ask him to come into our lives, give us peace and even understanding. But sometimes we won't understand because God's ways are so much higher than our ways, just as heaven is higher than the earth, so his ways are higher than our ways. But I am blessed by your presence, and I do hope you join me again. I'm hoping you're enjoying the book of Job as much as I am, and we'll be blessed to see you again soon. Have a great day, a great night, and God bless. Bye-bye.